We are here this afternoon to have a look at the Brook model from 11010 Homes in the Amber Fields neighborhood of Rosemount. Let's go have a look. Hi, I'm Austin Eaton, former home builder and longtime Twin Cities realtor. My aim for today's tour is to walk you through and give you my unvarnished opinions. Please be sure to stick around to the end, where I'll have a summary of what I think of this floor plan, working with this builder, and my thoughts about the neighborhood. One nice touch I like is the epoxy-coated front porch. We've got LP Smart Side, fiber siding on the front of the house. All right, I walked this model a few minutes ago and was pretty darn impressed. And then I saw and heard that it won the best model unit from $800,000 to $900,000 in the fall parade of 2025. So I wasn't wrong to be impressed, I guess. We walk right into an office here. And you've got glass doors on it. I would imagine you can do solid doors if you'd like, or no doors at all. One great thing about 11010 Homes is that they are willing to customize. You start your work off of a floor plan, but they are not afraid to customize the plan and will actually, as they say, Frankenstein a plan occasionally and be able to adapt and meld two different designs. So, terrific looking kitchen space. By the way, we said $800,000 to $899,000. This home is $850,000, $849,900 actually. We got quartz countertop here in the center. Knotty alder on the countertop here. Floor to ceiling cabinets, which I really like. Don't have any dust catchers up top. This countertop, as well as the rest of the perimeter countertops, are a leathered quartz. I love the feel of this leathered finish for quartz tops. We've also got inch-thick tops. I've seen some builders recently starting to skimp and do 2 centimeter thick tops, which is about 2/3 the depth of these. Looking around here, huge island. A lot of people like to have large islands they can sit a bunch of people at and don't want to have sinks in them. So this one definitely satisfies that. There's plenty of storage here. You do, because you've got a custom hood here, you got to find someplace else to put the microwave. So I'm seeing this more and more. In fact, I have it in my house. There is an under cab or an under counter microwave here. We look around the side into the dining area, and then that would be a slider to an eventual deck. Nice vaulted ceiling in the dining area. Now, this is kind of cool. You could use this as a coffee area or a little buffet. And here you are into a really nice sized pantry. You've even got some natural light in the pantry. All slide outs, roll outs in this large cabinet next to the fridge. Great pantry storage, in addition to the pantry storage that you've got back there. In here, we've got built-in knotty alder cubbies. Kind of a cool little decorative space here. This goes to the garage, if I can get us in there. 3-car garage. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Decent height in terms of headroom in here. And it's just 3 risers to get into the house. Back here, we've got a half bath. We've got a nice large format tile. I am pretty sure that this is a luxury vinyl tile, which would amount to feeling a lot like a ceramic tile, but it's going to soften the cost a little bit, and it does have a grout strip in between it, and that makes it look much more like a regular ceramic tile. You know, in here, we do have a vinyl plank flooring. I don't love vinyl plank in this price range. I feel like engineered hardwood would be a better answer. You can't have everything, and when a builder is designing a model, they might spend more money putting these beams in and less money on the floor. It is all a trade, because you can't put the finest of everything in here and build this house for less than $1 million. So it's a balancing act, and I think they've done a really nice job here. We've got a custom specialty fireplace surround. I'm seeing more and more of this style, and I really like it. And it offsets nicely with the stacked stone and the beams above. And then you have the built-ins on the sides with a vertical shiplap, which again, I think is a nice touch. These upper windows are all stationary, but you've got casements on the bottom, so you can crank those out for airflow in the summertime or spring and fall. Let's head upstairs. So we've got a finished poplar railing here. It's a nice touch. I always like when they put a big window in the staircase, and then you can also see that they got some transom windows up top. Now up here, you've got 4 bedrooms, and as you'll see on the tour, all of the bedrooms have private access to a bathroom, which I just love. And then here, we've got a couple steps up into the primary suite. I like that because it adds a little bit of prestige to it, but it also is necessary because if you remember, right below us here is that specialty ceiling in the living room. Got to have room to have that. Pretty good sized, generous primary bedroom here. And I do like the specialty ceiling in here as well. The box vault just adds some class to the space. Into the primary bathroom. I would have loved to see heated floors in here. These are not heated, but it's something the builder can and will do for you for a little upcharge. We got framed mirrors, which I really like. Great built-ins in here. So this is all space for linens. We've got nice dual vanities with a quartz top. And then more built-ins. Cabinet space down below. Kind of like the towel cubbies here. And then we have a nice big step-in shower. The pebble floor is a great touch, and you've got a nice recess here. And it's got a corner bench. Corner bench is a little bit far from the shower head, but still great to have that. Another good touch that I like right here. Your control for the shower head is not in a position where you've got to dance in and out of the water to get the shower started. You can stand over here, turn it on, wait for it to warm up, and you're safe and dry and warm. Over here, we've got a separate toilet room and then a walk-in closet. This walk-in closet is probably about 7 feet by 12 feet. Not the biggest I've seen in a home of this size, but certainly not small. As we walk back through here, hey everybody. I think this is a terrific suite and is definitely warranted for a home in this price range. I can see why they've gotten awards. In here, we have bedroom number 2 up here. Nice facing out toward the front of the home with 2 windows in front. And then walk-in closet. And then we head in here to a Jack and Jill bathroom. It's a nice variation on the Jack and Jill in that it doesn't feel like every other home that I've seen recently. So we've got good linen storage in the shower room of the Jack and Jill. Dual vanities with a quartz top. And we've got a vinyl, it might be a sheet vinyl floor actually, made to look like tile. And then we're again looking out the front of the home here. And here is bedroom number 3. It also has a walk-in closet, although it is not the biggest walk-in closet you'll ever see. Across the street or across the hall to the laundry. Sink with quartz top. Fun herringbone tile floor. And again, that's vinyl made to look like tile. Vinyl's gotten a lot better, by the way. Wow, okay. We've got a really nice size upstairs linen closet. You probably would end up using this for more than just linens. And then this one would probably be your guest suite or, teenager's bedroom, something like that, because it has its own private bath. So if you've got long-term visitors or if you've got somebody who wants or needs more privacy, this is the best one for them. Another walk-in closet. So here's what we got upstairs. We've got 4 bedrooms upstairs plus a laundry, and we have private access to bathrooms for all 4 bedrooms, which I really like. Remember we talked about, the push and pull, the things that you need to have when you're building a home, when a builder is building a home. They can't give you absolutely everything without an unlimited budget. One thing that I would have loved to see in this home, but did not, was that I would have loved to see solid core doors. These are great looking single panel recessed doors, but they're hollow. So that's one of the trade-offs here. If you would like to order solid doors, that would be an upcharge, probably several $1,000s for the home. Some people, it is a big deal. To others, they really don't care whether they've got hollow or solid core doors. So we're back through the main area and heading downstairs. Now, something that 11010 has been doing for a good while now is offering free finished lower levels. Most of the homes that they sell right now have finished lower levels because if you use their preferred lender, which is Bell Bank, they'll finish the lower level for free. Now, this lower level we're going to see here has some upgrades to it, and I'll tell you what those upgrades are. But they charge $35,000 to finish a basement if you're not taking advantage of that deal. Now, we don't know, nor do they, how long that deal is going to run. But they've been running it for quite a while, and there's no indication that it's something that they're going to discontinue. So, back to me talking about the tour. This is a really nice, open lower level. I love what they've done with this wall. Great accent wall. It doesn't access anything. And then you've got an electric fireplace here. I'm kind of starting to like electric fireplaces a little bit more. I thought they were pretty cheesy when they first came out. They do produce some heat if you want them to. You can also run them without having them produce any heat, which I think is a nice thing for ambience, even if you wanted to do it on a summer night. So that wet bar over there. That wet bar is not part of the standard package. If you were going to get a free finished lower level, this is an upgrade, as is the accent wall over there. But all of this space would be finished, and I'll show you around the rest of it, within that free finished lower level promotion they have. As you can see, this particular model is a lookout, not a walkout lower level. So there's no access to the backyard from the lower level. This is bedroom number 5. And this could work as a second office, craft room, workout room, or guest room if you'd like. It's got a walk-in closet, as every other bedroom in the house does, and just steps across the hall to a 3/4 bath. We've got another example of some of the vinyl that I'm seeing used these days that I really like. It's got a nice look to it. It does not look cheap like some vinyl I've grown used to in the past. Now, a lot of people want storage, and I want to show you that as well. So we've got some storage here under the stairs. Also under there is the sump pump for the house. And then more formal storage here. Might be for games, something like that. And then here we have the mechanical room. Got a high efficiency furnace. By code, all new construction homes in Minnesota have to have an air exchanger. And it makes the house run in a more healthy fashion and more efficiently. We've got a gas water heater here, electrical panel. Behind these boxes here is the passive radon system. That also needs to be included in every new construction home in Minnesota now. And then you've got your water manifold for the house and an outlet here. You could put a water softener here. I recommend water softeners used all throughout the metro. It just makes sense. If you're not from Minnesota and don't need water softener, you'll find that you're going to want a water softener here. The quality of the water is not awesome. So I'd love to hear in the comments below what your thoughts on the house are, what you like, what you didn't like, and then please stick around to the end. I will give you my summary of what I think of the home, the neighborhood, and the pluses and minuses of working with this builder and others. I do have to tell you that I'm pretty impressed with this home, and hope you enjoyed the tour here with me today too. Okay, well, thank you for sticking around for the entire video. I know it was fairly long, but I like to be thorough. I like to be able to see everything and show you everything throughout the home. Let's first talk about the Brook plan itself. 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 3 floors finished, 3-car garage, and 4,341 square feet in that plan. What did I like about it? I liked, first of all, that all 4 bedrooms upstairs had private access to bathrooms. So bedrooms 2 and 3 had a Jack and Jill between them, and then bedroom 4 had its own ensuite bathroom. The primary, obviously, after seeing the tour, you saw what a nice primary suite that is. So that's one thing I really liked about it. Another thing I liked was the design selections. I thought that the designer and the builder who came up with the plan and all of the decoration and the, not necessarily the staging, obviously you're not buying the staging, but the finishes, the choices. That accent wall downstairs was pretty cool, nicely done. It shows you that they have great design abilities. So if you're working with them, there's some leeway, there's some creativity there as well. Another thing I liked was the accent ceiling in the family room. The beams there were terrific. And I thought that the butler's pantry going into the pantry off the kitchen, that whole kitchen layout was really nicely done. This is a floor plan I could see myself living in. So I was quite impressed. A couple things I didn't like as much. Number one, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but there was no entry closet. So if you have guests, if you welcome guests in through your front door, there's no place to put their coats unless you want to run it through to the mudroom. That's a little nitpicky, but something that I noticed. The flooring on the main level, I would have loved to see engineered hardwood or real hardwood in that space. I think that as nice as all the other finishes were, it seemed like a little bit of a downgrade to have vinyl plank flooring throughout the main level. And then my third piece that I thought was obviously something I would have upgraded if I'd be building that house would be the hollow core doors. I mentioned that in the video. I like hollow core doors for a home of this price level and above. Not a lot to pick at in this home. I liked the design selections. I liked the floor plan. I also liked a lot of the way the home flowed. So all in all, a positive. Let's talk a little bit about 11010 Homes. I want to say thanks, first of all, to Sarah Kelly, who is the listing agent and builder's representative for this particular home and that development. I've worked with Sarah in the past. She's been terrific to work with. So I was glad to get a little background on this particular unit as well as what's up at 11010 from her. One of the things I really like about 11010, first of all, is the local builder. They build about 75 homes a year, and they have about 20 different floor plans you can choose from. You're also not stuck with that floor plan. If you're working with a national builder or a large production builder, you have to stick to what they're offering. You can't take pieces from one layout and add it to another, or you can't move closets or move things. 11010 is very flexible, within reason, as to what you can do to make alterations to floor plans. If you love the second floor on one of the floor plans and love the main floor on another, they probably are going to be able to figure out how you can meld the two floor plans together. And I think that's a real plus, particularly in this price range. You know, when you're dealing with a super custom home, you're dealing with $1.5 million to $3 or $4 million. We're not in that ballpark, thank goodness. And I think 11010 does a great job for customizing for their customers within the constraints that they have. They're currently building in Lakeville, Rosemount, Prior Lake, and Shakopee in established communities, including Amber Fields, where we just were. If you have a lot of your own and you'd like to have 11010 built for you there, they can also do that. Their floor plans run currently from the mid 600s up to $1 million. And you know, you pick all the finest of finishes, you may go over $1 million, but that's their general price range. Let's talk a little bit about Amber Fields, the neighborhood. Amber Fields is relatively new. It was started just a couple years ago. Planning in 2023, started construction in 2024, I believe. And the eventual plan will have about 2,100 units of different types, single family, townhomes, as well as 160 apartments, which are out toward County 42 at the front of the property. There'll be 7 parks, including playgrounds, walking paths, pickleball courts, no pavilions as far as I understand in terms of community centers or anything like that, but we'll get to that alternative in a moment. There are about 100 acres of open space and park within the Amber Fields development. And this is all on the old Umore property, which was land that the University of Minnesota owned for years. It is relatively flat land. I think they've done a nice job doing the land planning, though, to create some movement in the land, some natural areas, and some space between homes and between developments. The new Rosemount Middle School is going to be opening in the fall of 2027, and it borders the Amber Fields property. So many of the kids going to middle school in the area will be able to walk or bike to the new middle school starting in the fall of 2027. Across County 42 is the brand new Lifetime Fitness. And Rosemount residents get a discounted rate because of a cooperation between Lifetime and the city of Rosemount to build the property. So nice to get discounted rates because Lifetime Fitness, though it is an amazing facility, is not necessarily cheap. They do a great job, and it's more like almost like a country club atmosphere at times, great pools, etc. So though you don't have a clubhouse at Amber Fields, a lot of people are using Lifetime Fitness as a proxy clubhouse, and it's a great facility over there. Also next door is the Umore baseball and soccer fields right next to the Dakota County Technical Center. So it is a growing part of Rosemount. It's in the eastern side of Rosemount, and there is a lot of great development going on over there right now. My kids go to Rosemount schools, have gone to Rosemount High School, and I've got nothing but positive things to say about it. If you have any other questions about this home, about this development, or this builder, I'm glad to be a resource for you. I look forward to talking with you soon.